Hi everybody, I am Hope and I blog over at Teach with Hope. If you don't know who I am or you haven't visited my blog, all of my social media platforms and my blog are just all about inspiring teachers and encouraging teachers to inspire one another and just find hope in everything that they do. And so, I just always think about how we can, have those days where we're just feeling like nothing is going right, and we're leaving feeling just like inadequate at all that we do, and we just can't figure things out or whatever. And then we go in the next day and we just like rock that lesson. Everything's going perfectly. All our classroom management techniques are just on point, all of those types of things. And we can't believe that we were ever doubting ourselves. And so when you're having those days where you can't believe you're doubting yourself, you can bet that there's somebody who is. And those are the times where we need to come together and lift one another up and help one another find hope in what we do and inspire each other. So that is just what I'm all about. So today I am coming to you with a post that's actually really similar because I've seen a lot of teachers really feeling a lot of doubt about themselves and their classrooms, and just with all of the social media that's out there, we see so many classrooms that are just gorgeous, and I'm not going to say that I don't spend a lot of time in my classroom or that it's not important to me to make my classroom all cutesy, but that doesn't have to be important to you. I know some incredible teachers that would kick my teaching butt, that I go to for advice and mentoring and ideas and inspiration, that's something that's not important to them. And when it comes down to it, how your room looks does not impact the way your students learn. I truly believe that. To a certain extent, you can talk about like things being too busy and all of that, of course. But when it comes down to spending hours and hours and days in your classroom, making it look cute, is that really what is going to make the most of your kids' learning? No. But if it's something you enjoy doing, great. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to show you my classroom. And it's not done. I still have a couple weeks until kids come back. But what I want to show you is that I don't cover every wall, every bulletin board. I don't have to have every single thing up. And there's purpose for that. I truly believe that if I focus on 2 to 3 things just to, make myself feel better, 2 to 3, bulletin boards or whatever that I want, like decor displayed, okay? If I focus on 2 to 3 of them, that's good enough, because really the kids need to come into this space, and they need to come into this space and make it their own, right? And that's what's most important. So I'm going to just show you just like a quick little kind of like just tour of my room. So I have like all of these blank bulletin boards, okay? Over here I have my evidence wall, but there's no evidence terms on it, and we'll talk about that. There's another blank bulletin board. Okay, I'm going to hopefully not make you guys too dizzy, but I'm going to go the other way. Okay, so there's my, work display board. I've got another blank board over here. Okay, so you kind of get the picture. So I have a couple of boards. Oh, let me get that right there. Okay, I have a couple of boards that I've cutesified and focused on, right? But then the rest of them, I don't need to do that, because that is what the kids do. They come in and they make the space their own, and that I think it has so much more meaning behind it. So what I would suggest, and you don't have to do this, but this is what I would suggest, is have, a work display board. If you feel like you need to do something, have a place where kids and families, when they come in on those first days, they see like, hey, we're going to be putting work up there. That's going to be our space. And she's thinking about that, right? Our teacher's thinking about that. And then leave the other boards blank to put up posters. So all of those blank boards, I'm going to put anchor charts and posters and things like that up as we're learning. And I think, anchor charts, they're meant to anchor, to cement student learning. And so when we co-create those and when we make them together and kids have the opportunity to interact with what we're learning, it's so much more meaningful than if I just pre-made a poster and put it on the wall and we talked about it a little bit. And sure, you'll have those posters like when we're talking about genres, and I might put up a genre poster. But for the most part, all of those anchor charts are things that you should be making together, because that's when it has the most impact and the most meaning, okay? So feel okay that you have all of these blank boards where you are going to be displaying all that you guys have learned together throughout the year, right? And then kind of coming back to putting, you're going to put things up in the classroom that maybe kids aren't going to create, right? So I have this alphabet here that I'm going to be putting up, just a super simple alphabet, but the kids, I don't want to say the wrong teacher, but I just purchased on Teachers Pay Teachers like a directed drawing pack where kids are going to do directed drawings that match the alphabet, which is going to make this alphabet that's going to be displayed so much more meaningful to them. I also thought about doing like books that started with the letter of each alphabet and then putting a border around them where the kids could, do like an AB border pattern or whatever. So think of some way that you can make the things that are displayed in your classroom. Think of some way that you can help kids have ownership over what's in their classroom. Even things like I'm going to have like a math master's board where they get to sign their name on these when they master those facts, but I'm going to talk about them before I put them up. These will take me, now that they're ready, these will take me 5 minutes tops to put up on the wall. I've got border on my bulletin boards. That's good enough. I'm going to talk about these and share them with them, get them excited about them, and then they're going to know, oh, those are going to be up tomorrow or whenever, and I know what those are for. They're not just sitting there kind of as background noise. And I always think about that. And in the past, I've been so guilty of that, of just putting things up because they're cute and they're pretty. And that can still happen here or there. But I would put things up that are cute or pretty, and really they didn't serve any more purpose than a border did. A lot of times, if I didn't go over them or talk about them or take them down or make them really meaningful to kids. So those are just a couple tips, is just finding ways for kids to have ownership, co-creating things together, leaving your boards blank, and having, student work display board. So another thing is just any tools that you have in your classroom that are up on the walls, whether that be like a number line or, like I said, an alphabet, or any other tools that kids can access. Try to find, and sometimes it's really hard to think of things, but try to find ways that kids can be a part of creating that. So again, co-creating. So I haven't co-created it yet because my kids aren't back, but I have just some. So once they do, I'll post some pictures and maybe do a post on how they create it. So I just have some, what do you call this, poster board here for us to create a number line together. And then I got like these sticky notes, and I got some cutesy paper to go with it. But the kids are going to be the ones creating that number line, interacting with it. And then after they've created it, that's when I'm going to put it up on, our wall, so that that's something that they can access, they can see, and they know that they had a part in making that. So maybe things aren't always as cute as maybe they would have been if I had printed or bought from a learning store a super cute number line, but I think that my kids get so much more out of it. And then I'm not stressing when it's back to school time to try to get all of those bulletin boards done and ready. So I hope that kind of helps you see that if your classroom isn't the most magnificent looking classroom and you don't have everything printed in color and laminated and all of your borders up and all of that, that is not a reflection of who you are as a teacher, and you need to feel good and you need to feel confident about who you are and what you are doing for your kids. So I hope that was inspiring and that you find hope in that. And thank you guys for tuning in today.